to let Tony set me up.
Yeah. Whoa, it really kicked in.
Just as I was saying, I don't think I'm ever going to let Tony set me up like this again.
Oh, you will.
As he
You
looks
will.
up at the ceiling. It's really much easier to be the first speaker of the day than the last speaker of the day. So since my comments are standing between me and my wine, I'm going to do something that has changed at least 7 times during the day. Now, one of the things he asked me to do is to, in some way, commemorate Ray Anderson. Because he knows how close I was. Ray and I were on 4 different boards together. I've been on the interface board 15 years. We were on Clinton's council together. We traveled together to Montreal, to the OECD in Paris. I would go hear Ray speak. I remember he was the opening at, one time we were in Los Angeles, he was the opening keynoter for the Los Angeles County Community School System. I was the closing speaker the same day, so many times we were in Globe together in Vancouver. The list is long, and it has been both sobering and challenging to miss his physical presence. But Ray is and always will be with me and with each of us. And I hope if you never did get a chance to meet him personally, that you will use the videos and the books, the writings and the words, and those of us who knew him and worked with him, because he really was and is the most amazing man. Now, Tony knows, and Emma knows, and Louisa knows, and some others know, that 6 weeks after Ray passed, another really, really dear friend of mine, Wangari Maathai, who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004, passed away. So it has been personally very hard. But in that same vein of transition, it's been, how do I honor both of them? And I will be speaking at a memorial service on Tuesday back in Washington, D.C., about Wangari, who requested to be buried at Mount Kenya. And Ray, of course, many of you know, put interface on the path of climbing mountain sustainability. So there's been something about mountains, and if you didn't see it, I'm not going to go into it now, because I'm going to get through this without crying. A blog that Tony invited me to write on Ray now as the mountain is on the Tomorrow's Company Force for Good blog. So, yesterday, and then this is a little bit in pieces, but I'll get there. And yesterday, when we were over at the office, and a number of us, including Lawrence, we were talking about a lot of things, in particular in preparing for Rio Plus 20. We brought up the Earth Charter, and not everyone at the table understood the Earth Charter. So, and in fairly short order, I'm going to read the preamble of the Earth Charter. When I do, you'll know why. I am going to close with something called the Women's Creed, because we've danced around the issues of women today. And also because when Ray and I think you were at that particular one, Tony, that was either 2004 or 6 or 8. Ray had just finished talking at Globe in Vancouver, and it was about an audience of 2,000, as we now say, hard-nosed business people. And he had given this litany of pretty much, it was a bummer, you know, everything that was in decline, the systems that were collapsing, and it was like the guy who was moderating, he said, well, my God, what gives you hope? And without missing a beat, without taking a breath, Ray said, the fundamental ascendancy of women. And one of my great pleasures was in 2010, was to nominate Ray for, and for him to accept, and his daughter, Marianne Lanier, to give the speech for Ray as the business woman of the year. And he loved it. For the Women's Network for Sustainable Future in New York. So with that in mind, And then the last little caveat, because you got to understand all these pieces. On November 8th, in 1991, in other words, 20 years ago this week, two women that I met, one, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who happens now to be the president of Liberia. Did they have to run off? Did she win? Because I've been here and I missed whether or not she wanted to run off. Well, we'll all find that out later tonight together. Now you'll pay attention to it if you haven't. And she is one of the three who is receiving the Nobel Peace Prize this year on December 10th, always on December 10th, International Human Rights Day. That's your little trivia lesson for today. But I met Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and I met Wangari for the first time. So this week is the 20th anniversary of that. So with humility and appreciation for being here among you and with you, and really feeling so many people have been kind and warm and loving and have helped so many of us at Interface really understand how much Ray meant to all of us. So with that in mind, the preamble of the Earth Charter and the Women's Creed. Okay. And the type is really small. So, it's really small. Okay. We stand at a crucial moment in Earth's history, a time when humanity must choose its future. As the world becomes increasingly interdependent and fragile, the future at once holds great promise and great peril. To move forward, we must recognize that in the midst of a magnificent diversity of cultures and life forms, we are in fact one human family and one Earth community with a common destiny. We must join together to bring forth a sustainable global society founded on respect for nature, universal human rights, economic justice, and a culture of peace. Towards this end, it is imperative that we, the peoples of Earth, declare our responsibility to one another, to the greater community of life, and to future generations. If you've never read the Earth Charter, please do. Wangari was one of the people who was on the commission, and when she couldn't attend from Kenya, she would ask me to attend in her stead, particularly on the language surrounding gender and children and reproductive issues. So, a women's creed, in this theme about women, was, we were all part of an organization called We Do. It was the World Women's Congress for a Healthy Planet. And I always say, it was 1,500 people who came together in Miami from 83 countries, mostly women and a few good non-women. I got it, okay. And the creed itself was prepared by a group of women led by Robin Morgan, the poet. This was for 1995, for the World Women's Congress for a Healthy Planet, which was in Beijing. So, with all of you, we are female human beings poised on the edge of the new millennium. We are the majority of our species, yet we have dwelt in the shadows. We are invisible, the illiterate, the laborers, the refugees, the poor, and we vow. We are the women who hunger for rights, for home, for freedom, for each other, for ourselves. We are the women who thirst for clean water and laughter, for literacy and for love. We have existed at all times in every society. We have survived femicide. We have rebelled and left clues. We are continuity weaving future from past, logic with lyric, and we are the women who stand in our sense and shout, yes! We're the women who wear broken bones, broken voices and minds, broken hearts, but we are the women who dare whisper no. We are the women whose souls no fundamentalist cage can contain, and we are the women who refuse to permit the sowing of death in our gardens, our air, our rivers, and our seas. We are each precious, unique, and necessary. We are strengthened and blessed and relieved in not having to all be the same. We're the daughters of longing, and we are the mothers in labor to birth the politics of the 21st century. We are the women men warned us about. And we are the women who know that all issues are ours, who will reclaim our wisdom, reinvent tomorrow, question and redefine everything, especially power. We have worked now for decades to name the details of our need, rage, hope, vision, broken our silence and exhausted our patience. We are weary of listing refrains on our suffering to entertain or simply be ignored. We are done with vague words and waiting, famishing for action, dignity, and joy. We intend to do more than merely endure and survive. They have tried to deny us, to define us, to diffuse us, to denounce us, to jail, enslave, exile, gas, rape, beat, burn, bury, and even bore us. Yet nothing, not even the offer to save their failed system, can grasp us. For thousands of years, women have had responsibility without power, while too many men, but not all, have had power without responsibility. We offer those men who risk being our brothers a balance, a future, a hand, but with or without them, honey, we're going to go on. For we're the old ones, the new breed, the natives who came first but lasted, indigenous to an utterly different dimension. We are the girl child in Zambia, the grandmother in Burma, the woman in El Salvador, in Afghanistan, Finland, and Fiji. We are the whale song and rainforest, the depth wave rising huge to shatter glass, power on the shore, the lost and despised who weeping stagger into the light. All this we are, the people speaking, who no longer will wait and who cannot be stopped. We are poised on the edge of the millennium, ruin behind us, no map before us, the taste of fear sharp on our tongues. Yet we will leap. The exercise of imagining is an act of creation. The act of creation is an exercise of will. All this is political. All this is possible. And all this will be bread, a clean sky, active peace, a woman's voice singing somewhere melody, drifting like smoke from the cook fires. The army disbanded, the harvest abundant, the wound healed, the child wanted, the prisoner freed, the body's integrity honored, the lover returned, the labor equal, fair, and valued. No hand raised in any gesture but greeting. Secure interiors of the heart, home, land, so firm as to make secure borders irrelevant at last. And everywhere, laughter, care, celebration, dancing, entertainment, a humble earthly paradise in the now. We will make it real. We will make it our own. We will make policy. We will make history. We will make peace. We will make it available. We will make mischief. We will make a difference. We will make love. We will make the connections. We will make a miracle. Make ready. Believe it. Oh, please believe it. My sisters and my brothers, believe it, because we are the people who will transform the world.
No, there's no Q&A, we just have something for you.
Oh, for me? Oh, my gosh.
Hi, I'm Margot Miller. I joined Tomorrow's Company on the board on Tuesday, and I met Dianne on Tuesday. And I feel like she's a kindred spirit who I've known my whole life. And we were talking on Tuesday about Rachel Carson and the role that she played in so much of what we've been talking about. And I mentioned a children's book that I remember from my childhood. And Dianne didn't know what it was, and I now know why, because it wasn't a children's book. I went home that evening and Googled to remember the name of it, and it's A Sense of Wonder. And I discovered that a new version came out a few years ago with a new set of colored pictures. And for those of you who don't know, although I see most of you in this room know, Rachel Carson wrote an essay to her great-nephew, who she helped raise. And she wrote it shortly before she died. And the last project she was working on was to publish it with beautiful pictures for adults to share with the children in their lives, to give them a sense of the natural world. And so I wish that I had thought about it earlier and realized what today was truly about, because I would have ordered copies for every speaker in the room. Because it's so much of what we were talking about in terms of just looking at the natural world around us and learning from it. And I said to Tony that I bought this book for Dianne, and now that I'm part of Tomorrow's Company, would it be appropriate to give it to you on behalf of not just me, but Tomorrow's Company.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I just just want to say one thing, and there's one gift. No. To the Institute for hosting us here. Richard, who's in Singapore. I think you've graced it with great beauty in what you've said and what you've shared with us. I said it to you before that you wear many identities, and yet you are so fully human in a way that I've never really met before. So thank you for bringing that to us here today. And Emma, some chocolates?
My friends are all weak.